want to hear about you talking about them on a public venue. I don't want to hear it. If you want to talk about your tattoo or your braids, that's one thing.
I was just getting into that.
Okay, but don't talk about my family members on a public venue. I don't want to hear that. That's not cool. Talk about you and you alone, and don't involve my family members in front of me or anybody else.
Okay, I'll talk about my trip.
Do that, please. Don't talk about my family members.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about my trip. All right, so like I mentioned, just like repeating information at this point. There's times where I feel the need that, like, hold on 1 second. There's an ant crawling up on the screen, but like there's a point where I tell myself like I need to get out of New York, whether it's to go to like a rainbow gathering, whether it's to go to Mardi Gras, whether it's to go to Burning Man, whether it's to go to like I don't know what else have I been to. The Joe Weider Olympia weekend or the Arnold Sports Festival or any place where I go to like take pictures or I was in New Orleans because those are like different circumstances I'm not going to get into. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about family anymore tonight, but I wanted to focus more on my trip. I was in my room and I've actually been like thinking about studying abroad, not studying abroad, but like backpacking through Europe, and ideally I don't just want to show up. Like I feel like more than half the time I'm going on vacation, I suffer from like the fact that I didn't plan things out ahead of time as far as like what I'm going to do from day to day or what is even offered. So I don't want to like fly across to Europe or down to Mexico and be in a situation where like I sort of like I'm couch surfing and I wake up and I'm like, now what? Like I remember when I was in Reno, I kind of lucked out because I booked a plane ticket that was 3 days after the festival was over, and what happened with that? Yeah, there was like one day in particular where I didn't do nothing but smoke marijuana, watch Netflix, go online, use the Wi-Fi. I would have loved to go down Virginia Street and see like whatever you see images of Reno, like whether it's Reno 911 or like whatever the local landmarks are. So yeah, just that planning. If hence this trip, to some extent, if I tell this person that I'll meet him in Brooklyn at some point on Saturday, I've pretty much committed at least $80 in his pocket towards the trip. But even once I get down the New Jersey Turnpike, it's gonna be a little more than $80. Anything happens, I'm gonna be like in a situation where if I'm gonna need to get back home, I might have to give Greyhound $200 or whatever. But yeah. So like I said, I was trying to plan a trip like to another country around a festival, not necessarily a music festival or I'll just be honest. I was looking for like a drug festival. People would just be dropping acid, taking mushrooms, not smoking weed because that's one mistake I made in Burning Man this year. Someone gave me a dub and that more or less like made me fall asleep through most of the day. And where was I going with that? So yeah, I realized as I was like searching for events like outside the U.S., I remember it was the beginning of October, and the one thing everyone looks forward to in October is Halloween. And I remembered in my head that like Fantasy Fest is something that takes place before Halloween. Unfortunately, like for some reason, if you like book any type of travel in or out of Key West, not unless it's like like months in advance, it seems like you're gonna get like fucked in the ass without the grease in terms of like how much you're gonna pay. You know, even like I was even trying to look for a flight ticket from Orlando to Key West and then back to New York, and it was just I couldn't find anything below $600, even within the state of Florida. Which I mean, even if I did, I'm not gonna spend more than like $400 in plane fare if I'm gonna choose that route. I mean, I only paid $303 to get basically across the country from New York to Reno, Nevada, and Florida is more or less like something you can drive. No, I mean, I had no interest in driving from New York to Nevada. I mean, I want to get that experience once where I drive across country. Ideally, I wanted to like make my way to California before I go down to Mexico because I've only been to California once and I was like too young to really take it in at the time. I think I was in 7th grade. I was 12 years old and I was on a tight leash. So yeah, so I remember that there was this Fantasy Fest event, and like the first thing I looked at was like the dates. From memory, I think it's this year is from October 18th through the 27th. That sounds right. So yeah, that's like a little more than a week, like a week and 2 days. But yeah. So now that I knew the dates, I was like looking into the flights, and the only reasonable like option that's like still on the table at this point is to take a Greyhound for like less than $300. It's like 290 whatever. I forget the exact figure. But at least if I do that, I'll be able to go with my dad to the basketball game next week, as well as attend the funeral. With that alone, I just almost want to tell that dude, forget about the ride. You know, there's some things that you can't really put money on. And I know my brother told me not to speak about family, but he kind of told me that, sometimes, like if I had a choice between like getting from like Brooklyn to Orlando for $80 and I can like look back and see how much money I save, as opposed to like spending $300 on a Greyhound ticket and paying my respects. I'm leaning more towards that, and even better, it'll like not give me like added stress of getting all my shit ready in the next 72 hours. So if I still feel the same way, once I wake up, then I'm gonna call that dude and tell him thanks, but oh, like I need that. So yeah, I wasn't talking about I wasn't.
What you burning these lights for, man?
I was just talking about money, ironically.
Yeah, you're burning somebody else's money right now.
Yeah, so I should just jump off a bridge because I'm not worth the electricity,
That's up to
right?
you, man. That's up to you, Chris.
No, I mean I can like logically see that.
Chris,
like I mean,
you using somebody else's lights and you trying
logically, I'm not fit to use other people's lights.
What are you contributing?
I'm not fit to I'm not fit because I don't contribute.
That's
so
right.
Therefore, I'm going to eliminate that problem.
That's up to you, man. That's up to you.
It's a solution. I mean,
stop talking about it.
Is that a good solution?
Okay, you've repeated this 100 times. You said the same thing 100 times. That's God's call. That's between you and God. If God don't want you to do that, you ain't doing nothing. So it don't matter how much you say it. You go when it's time for you to go.
It's like, you're beating that dead stick.
Okay? No, beating a dead stick, you're using people's stuff and not contributing nothing. Stop using our electricity and our internet to talk about them.
She used, my last rent check came for this month.
Okay. I'm just letting you know, why are all these lights burning?
That check will help, like Con Edison,
What
when you
check?
get that bill, the $215.
Is that going in her hands?
Yeah, the check goes in the mail. You can ask her.
Does it go in her account to help you stay here?
I'm pretty sure Mom cashes it in her account. That's why I thought I had to go to Brooklyn October 1st, but I got that letter and I didn't do it, and I didn't make that trip to Brooklyn.
Okay, so other people are paying. Okay, got you. So that's
And
cool.
like I said, right now I'm leaning towards not leaving here on Saturday, but like I can safely say that up to end of September. Okay, you got me. October 1st.
You're telling me that
I
Mom
don't
is
know-
getting
I
a
don't know.
$215 check from the government for you right now.
Well, not for the month of October, if you want to be technical.
So your mom is getting money for you staying here.
Up until the end of September, yeah.
I'll confirm that with her.
I mean, she's particular about people opening up her mail.
No, I gotta. Mom will not.
I opened up one of those checks, so I can tell you firsthand. I mean, it wasn't the full amount.
So the
I'll
people
tell
in the
you
United States is taking care of you. Got you.
Yeah, there's some people.
I'm conscious of these.
There's some people who tell me kill yourself, because I don't want you taking money from my check so it can go into your food stamp account.
Chris, that's between you and God.
No, I'm just saying that's what other people.
And why
that's where they come from. That's where their mentality is. The same way you talk about these lights, they talk about the money that's deducted from the paycheck.
Okay. What I'm saying is, Mom is on a budget. She's hardly able to pay these bills, and she's running up her credit card bills. I'm not saying she's a perfect mother, but as far as I said, wash some dishes. I can't do that. I'd rather throw that dish out. But I will burn people's electricity up, and I will use the internet in a minute. I'll stay here for 2-3 hours and use up.
I was ready to I was gonna power up this computer, which I'm gonna shut down right now.
I'm just saying, because I'm thinking about other people. I asked why all these lights are burning in here. Because I think about other people. Like, why you got all these lights burning? Then you say, well, I need it so I can see on my camera and post my blog. I can't reason with you anymore, Chris. So I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this, man.
My intentions were to talk strictly about things not pertaining to what goes on in this house. I almost want to pull the plug in this whole project altogether, but yeah. 1 second.
Alright.
I was attempting to turn the fan on because I was burning up in here, but in another minute or so I'll take care of that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear something about the fan taking up electricity. But
Don't put that. I said don't talk about people's personal stuff. You do it again, I'm pulling that internet and I'm taking it till Mom comes.
I mean, I was talking about my trip, and then you went into the lights.
All you had to say was I needed the light to post my blog. You didn't say that.
When you turned off that light, I told you, can you turn it back on, please? I needed it to for the lighting. And then that's when, you
you
started.
talk about family members, I'm pulling the internet. That's done. I'm done. You talk about family members, I'm pulling the internet, I'm taking the box. And then you find another way to load that.
Alright. I don't even know where I'm going to go with that, but in any case, I'm going to definitely end this 1 minute early. I'm going to actually tolerate the heat because I'm going to be in a climate maybe in a week or 2 from now where there's nothing but heat, and if I can withstand it for another 30 seconds, then I don't know. My whole train of thought has been lost. So, yeah, I'm just going to let it run out and pick it up maybe when I turn the fan on.